LA28, I'm going to be the first ever Paralympian to win Olympic gold in the high jump.
From the Ventura County Office of Education, this is the Focus on Education podcast. And now here's your host, Ventura County Superintendent of Schools, Dr. César Morales.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Focus on Education. Today, we're looking at what it takes to become a champion and how education is a huge part of it. I'm super excited to be joined by a man who is a champion in his field. Isaac Jean-Paul is a two-time Paralympic medalist in track and field. This week, he's been in Ventura County to share his insights with our local students. Isaac, thanks so much for being on this podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Isaac, which Paralympic Games did you participate in and in what events?
Yeah, so my first ever Paralympic Games was in 2020 in Tokyo. Unfortunately, 2020 was the time that we were going through COVID, so the games were postponed for the next year, 2021. At that particular Paralympic Games, I competed in the 100-meter dash and the long jump, where I received a third place finish, winning bronze. And then my second Paralympic Games was in 2024 in Paris, where I won silver in the long jump.
Oh, I see a trend coming.
Yes, sir. And you know what's going to happen at LA28. That silver is going to turn into gold.
Of course.
Yes, sir.
Now, Isaac, do you have the medal with you?
As a matter of fact, I sure do. Hold on. So, this medal is special. Although it's silver, I like to think that it's gold because it took a gold medal effort just to win this, mentally, spiritually, and physically. And I like to call this medal the People's Medal, because if it wasn't for the people in my life, I wouldn't have been able to win this. This was from Paris 2024 Summer Games.
Wow, this is heavy.
Yes, sir. That's how you know it's real. That's the real deal Holyfield.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir.
That's a beautiful medal. Congratulations on this effort.
Appreciate you.
This means so much. And thank you for sharing it and your story with our kids recently, because it's very meaningful that you're taking time to inspire our kids.
Well, hey, man, this wouldn't be possible without you guys, giving us an opportunity. I'm going to put this right here.
Okay.
Giving us an opportunity to share our story and impart knowledge and wisdom on your community is very big, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. Our wellness peers this week had a treat in listening to Isaac and other Olympic athletes' stories. Going back to you, let's learn a little bit more about you. Isaac, what is your disability that qualified you for the Paralympics?
Yeah, so a little backstory on me. At the age of 2, I was diagnosed with juvenile retinoschisis, which is a rare eye disease that causes detachments in the retina, which left me with 20% of my vision. But that didn't stop me. I had incredible doctors that encouraged my parents to allow me to live my life through my own lens, right? Don't hold me back. Don't handicap me. Allow him to experience the world the best way he knows how to. And that's what my parents did. I know it was probably scary for them because their child was different, but they had faith that I would figure it out. I quickly gravitated towards sports because that was something I knew I can do. Even when I was a little kid, I was like, man, put a ball in my hand and watch what I do with it. Mm-hmm. And I owe that to my mom because she was a basketball player, Hall of Famer in college. And watching her play basketball, I knew that was what I wanted to do.
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful story. How did you get into track and field as a kid?
Yeah, so I started track and field. My entire life played basketball. I started track and field when I was a senior in high school because I was getting cut from my high school basketball team. And if I wasn't making the basketball team in high school, how was I going to go to the NBA? I was at one of my buddies' house and we were watching SportsCenter. And during this episode of SportsCenter, they had a special on Devin Hester, Go Bears. Chicago's where I'm from.
Okay.
And while watching it, they had Devin Hester on one side and a cheetah, and they were comparing the speed of a cheetah to Devin Hester. And I said to myself, I was like, I can do that. my friends laughed at me. It was like, "You're not that fast, Isaac. We've seen you run." I was like, "You never seen me run before. What do I have to do to prove to you that I'm fast?" And they said, "Try out for the track team and beat the fastest kid, and then maybe then we'll consider you as fast." I joined the track team, and the first day was testing. We test the vertical jump, the broad jump, and the 40-yard dash, and I placed first in every single one of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and after that 40-yard dash, I ran a 4.5 40-yard dash in tennis shoes, or not tennis shoes, basketball shoes, excuse me. Mm-hmm. And the coach looked at me, and he was like, "You better stay doing track, because if you don't, I'm going to hurt you." And from there, that just propelled me into track even more. And I think within my second or third week of being on the team, I did the high jump, and I broke the school record jumping 6 feet 6 inches. And I made a name for myself in my local community, and I had scholarships, to different schools. Unfortunately, I couldn't go to those schools immediately after high school due to my grades. And partially my grades were bad because I didn't like school because of my disability. It was harder for me to learn because of all the tools I had to use just to see, just to read, just to be another student. And I didn't like school at all for that reason. And I even pushed myself even more towards sports, because in sports, my disability wasn't seen.
That's great, but you were so driven. You played basketball all your life, and right now, kids have so much access to formal sports, club sports, and for you to enter at your first tryout and place first amongst all your colleagues in high school, that's impressive, and I'm sure it built up your confidence to just keep it going.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What role have schools and education played in your success? And, along that vein, who are the key adults in your life in that journey?
Yeah, absolutely. So growing up, like I said, I had a disinterest in school, like elementary school all the way through high school. Didn't know the importance of an education. I thought basketball was going to solve everything. As long as I'm in the NBA, I ain't have to learn. Right? That's a mindset of a lot of young children out there. At least that's what it was for kids like me growing up. And it wasn't until I got into junior college where I started to see the importance of an education and knowing that education is key. Mm-hmm. You need that to do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. And for me at the time was sports, track and field. If I wasn't doing what I needed to do in class, I couldn't participate in sports. And so I was never dumb by any stretch of the imagination. I was always intelligent. It was just hard for me to apply myself in the way that my school wanted me to due to my impairment. But in college, I had access to more resources, and it was solely up to me. It was my responsibility. My mom and dad wasn't looking over my shoulder, seeing if I was doing my homework. It was my responsibility. And if I wanted to run and jump, I had to make sure that I took care of business in the classroom, thus opening my eyes to how incredible it is to learn. I fell in love with school when I went to junior college. In fact, I was going to school to become a teacher, a college counselor. And there was a counselor by the name of Dubois McCarthy. Mm-hmm. Shout out to him because he changed my entire perspective on school. He sat down with me and he just really poured into me like nobody else did on the education side. And he opened up doors to different things that I wasn't aware of. And I just felt more in love with what it meant to learn. And I got more and more comfortable with my disability and learning with the resources that my junior college gave me at the time. Excuse me.
Well, after that gold medal, there's still time for all that.
Absolutely.
And you have a home here in Ventura County. We'd love to see you as a teacher or a counselor.
If you open that door for me, I'm there, man.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, sir.
It's cracked open.
Absolutely.
You're in Ventura County to speak to students about staying motivated and overcoming their obstacles.
Yes, sir.
What was your key message for our kids?
Well, I had a lot of messages, but the one that I opened up my talk about is being enthusiastic, showing up, and knowing what that means. When I go out there and compete, I have a certain little ritual that I do. I call it the get hype clap.
Get hype! Get hype! Get hype! Get hype! Get hype!
And I start that with all of my talks, is that get hype clap, because I want to show them that when you step in the room, you have to have a level of enthusiasm, which would help other people feel comfortable to learn, to take in whatever it is that's being presented to you. So I would say that is the main one, is having that enthusiasm and showing up for yourselves and for people in your community. But another thing is having fun. Right? In life, like we are told that you can only have fun for so long, right? Mm-hmm. Like at a certain point in school, there's no more recess. That was the funnest part of the day, right? Mm-hmm. But we have to discover what else can we do to make sure that we have some type of enjoyment in what we're doing. So I like to pride myself off of enthusiasm, having fun, and just overall developing that confidence. And I believe if you do the first two, the third one would just take care of itself.
I had the good fortune of being able to hear you today and yesterday when you met with our middle school students. The energy you bring and the optimism and enthusiasm is amazing.
Thank you.
You know, you glossed over right now even the obstacles that you overcame.
Yeah.
When we talk to our local students in regards to their reaction to your story, you know, what resonated was you overcoming challenges that would have shut a lot of people down. What was that message in your small breakout groups with the kids or in your talk where you overcame something big?
Yeah. You know, everything is about perspective, and 80% of your perspective comes from what you see. And with me, I don't have full vision, so I only see a limited amount of things, and I have to use different parts of me to figure things out and to see differently, right? And so, and I don't want to be corny, but I see from my heart. You know, my heart tells me what's in front of me, right? With the little bit of vision that I have, I feel what I see, you know, and I really lean into that. Like, there's nothing in this world I can't do. If I put my mind to it, I can achieve it. And that is, as cliche as it may sound, it is very true. And understanding what that means, you know, can take you very far. Because, look, I never thought that I would be able to run fast, right? You know, I always saw myself as a jumper. But it only took that one person to sit down and really show me my potential and show me what I can do and teach me the certain things that you need to learn in order to run fast. And I was able to catch on, and guess what? I ended up running fast. You know what I'm saying? And then that launched me into wanting to find out, well, what else can I do? I got fascinated with the potential I have. But that can only happen if somebody brings it out of you. You don't know what you can do until you try, right?
Right.
But also, when somebody sees the potential in you, it just propels you to even want to know more.
You know, I think our audience would agree. You not only see with your heart, you speak from your heart.
There you go.
We really appreciate you for doing that. What's it been like? Is there anything else that you learned from the experience of interacting with our local kids? You get to speak to students all over the country. What was special about our Ventura County students?
Man, I had the privilege of talking to the middle schoolers yesterday, and then I also had the privilege of talking to the high schoolers yesterday. And the one thing that stood out to me was that they're leaders, you know, and this small step is bigger than they could ever imagine, right? Being here at this conference, wanting to be a person that can make a difference in someone else's life. You know what I'm saying? That's powerful. And it's inspiring me. It's inspiring to me because I have a 4-year-old daughter at home, and I think about the craziest thing, like, oh my God, what's going to happen when my daughter goes to school? Because this world is crazy and it's only getting crazier. And it puts you in a place where, man, like some people say, man, this world's too crazy to have kids. You know what I'm saying? And having a 4-year-old daughter and knowing that, you know, she's going to be faced with a lot of different obstacles, but seeing that these kids out here are going to be mentors to her. You know, they're going to be counselors, principals, teachers of my daughter one day. And that is comforting, you know. So I would say that these kids are natural born leaders. And I love the willingness to learn, the willingness that they have to learn and to want to help others is very appreciative.
That's amazing. Well, you know, your 4 daughter has a home in many amazing school districts here in our county. Absolutely. Should you guys ever make your way to our county?
I'll keep that in mind.
What's one of the most interesting questions you got from a student today?
Oh, man, there were so many, you know, so many I can't really remember. I think the most interesting one, I wouldn't say it was a question. It was more so of a conversation. One student, and it wasn't directed to me. It was directed to another athlete that was talking about their personal experience with abuse, right? And just hearing the dialogue between the two and hearing what the Olympian had to say to the child or the young adult and how they were receptive to what he was saying, and like it would, that bouncing back and forth of dialogue was appreciating to see and to hear and to be a part of. Like I said, I don't know exactly the full conversation, you know what I'm saying, to say it verbatim, but just witnessing that is something to appreciate.
Well, that's great to hear. You know, we have amazing students. It's a joy to see them interact with each other and definitely with our guest speakers we bring. Very proud of them. Will you be participating in the Los Angeles Paralympics in 2028? And talk to us just a little bit. If that's the case, what are you doing right now in your training regimen to get you prepared to bring us that gold?
I'm going to say this as humbly as I can. Absolutely. I will be in Los Angeles 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games. For those who don't know, I'm going to be the first ever Paralympian, and that's the camera right there. Make sure the camera see me when I say this. LA28, I'm going to be the first ever Paralympian to win Olympic gold in the high jump. And I'm doing that because I believe in myself, you know, and it's, some people may say, oh man, that's a crazy dream to have or a crazy feat to try to accomplish. But for me, I don't feel like it's crazy. I feel like it's part of my purpose. I have to do that. It's meant for me. Many has tried to do this, but I think it's not that I think. I know it's for me to accomplish, and I'm going to do it because I know that once I accomplish that, I'm going to be able to tell any kid or any adult that if you put your mind to it and if you really believe in yourself and you understand what it means to believe in yourself. Some people say it, but don't understand what that means. This is what you can win, you know, and I'm not scared to set the bar high. I jumped over bars all my life, you know what I'm saying, figuratively and literally. I'm a high jumper. So jumping over that bar, it's nothing. It's a breeze.
Well, we wish you continued success. We wish you health and happiness. Definitely we'll be joining your 4-year-old, cheering you on.
There you go.
As you bring us all back the gold, and look forward to you coming back and continuing to inspire our students and students across America.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yes, sir.
Focus on Education is a production of the Ventura County Office of Education. We encourage you to subscribe and join us each month for new episodes. You can find Focus on Education wherever you get your podcasts or at vcoe.org/podcast. We also welcome your feedback. You can email us at communications@vcoe.org. at vcoe.org.